I welcome every one of us to this session. My name is Ifoma Ben. I'm a partner in Eminent Solicitors and also the founder of Legal Business Network. So it's my pleasure this afternoon to be moderating this session of this all-important topic about the CBN digital currency. So we'll be looking at the Nigerian bank digital currency strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we have three wonderful individuals here today who will be doing justice to the topic from different perspectives. So I'll just be introducing our panelists, three of them. So I'll just give a brief profile of them and we'll now dig deep into the topic. So I'll quickly introduce our panelists. The first person here on my list is Chiagozie Iwu. Chiagozie is the founder and CEO of CI Crypto Solutions, a company that owns and operates the NigerCrypto.com exchange and NigerPay.io payment gateway, as well as developing blockchain solutions and consulting for other firms. He is a seasoned blockchain enthusiast and possesses ample experience formulating derivative contracts as well as portfolio structuring in both cryptocurrency and traditional markets. He has also created a cryptocurrency index called the BARW130, which focuses on tailoring the index to cryptocurrency market characteristics and risks. He's a certified blockchain and finance expert with core focus on the financial applications of blockchain technology. So Nathaniel Lux, you are most, Chiagozie Iwu, you are most welcome. So I will now introduce Nathaniel. Nathaniel Lux is the author of Digital is the Cash. Has been a frequent finance investing. Can we mute? Please, if you're not speaking, we are getting some background noise. We're getting some background noise, please. Can we mute our microphones? Immediately. Okay, that's good. So, sorry, I'll just start afresh for Nathaniel. Nathaniel Lux is the author of Digital is the Cash. He has been a frequent speaker in finance, investing, technology, cryptocurrency, and blockchain events since 2017. He is known for promoting the adoption and use of digital cash in Africa, seeing the numerous opportunities provided by blockchain and digital currencies. His goal is to leapfrog Africa via them. He's the author of several books, including Digital is the Cash, an easy guide to understanding the past, present, and future of money. The book is available in different languages: English, French, Spanish, and German. And the interesting part of it is that it is free for download. He has a degree in English and helps professionals achieve dominance in their field by guiding them by publishing books via Publish My Book. From an inflation-prone economy, he's passionate about helping to build and preserve their wealth via investment in non-inflationary assets at Blazers Capital. Nathaniel is a certified family life practitioner trained on using cutting-edge technology in the accurate case study, diagnosis, and effective family life intervention, therapy, and strategy. He is an award-winning libertarian and former lead for Dash Nigeria and one of Africa's foremost blockchain and digital currency experts. So we welcome you most especially, Nathaniel Lux. You're highly welcome. Now I'll move on to a colleague of mine, Olumide Babalola, who is a co-founder of Digital Rights Lawyers Initiative and managing partner Olumide Babalola and Co. Olumide is the author of Casebook on Data Protection, which is as claimed as the Nigerian first and only law textbook on digital protection. He's a prolific and consummate digital rights, consumer rights, privacy, and digital protection lawyer. His rights and diverse digital rights litigation experience spans across all superior courts of record in Nigeria and regional courts in Africa, including ECOWAS Community Court of Justice. Wow. He has specifically litigated on privacy and digital data protection, cybercrime, hate speech, freedom of information, online freedom of expression, passage of laws protecting digital rights, among others. Olumide is a seasoned conference speaker at local and international fora. In 2019, he spoke at the RightsCon, the 8th annual summit on human rights in the digital age, held in Tunis, and UN Internet Governance Forum in Berlin, 2019, among others. Olumide is the managing partner of Olumide Babalola LP, his flagship full-service law office with particular bias for digital rights, consumer rights litigation, class actions, employment and corporate commercial litigation, and audits. So he's also the awardee of the Nigerian Rising Star Award. He's a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, as well as the secretary of the MBA Lagos Human Rights Committee, British Nigeria Law Forum, Internet Society, Internet Governance Forum Support Association, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators UK, World Litigation Forum, International Bar Association, and International Network of Privacy Law Practitioners. Wow, what an intimidating profile. So yeah, most welcome, Olumide Babalola. So let's welcome our speakers. Let's see some love emojis in the chat box. Let's show them some love. Let's welcome them officially. Let's use the clapping icon to say you are highly welcome. Let's ginger them. You know, I know they will give us fire, so let's ginger them. So yeah, most welcome. So like I said earlier on, we are talking about the Nigeria Central Bank digital currency, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We all know that in the news, we've been reading very recently that Nigeria may be launching, before the end of 2021, Nigeria will be launching a central bank digital policy, digital currency, as released, the information released from the information technology specialists at the CBN. And that's, we also hear that they've been working on this for over 2 years, according to the media reports that we have. So now, as we are expecting the special announcements by the CBN in respect of the digital currency. So we are now going to consider what are the strengths. We're just going to do a SWOT analysis of the CBN digital currency, the central bank digital currency. So today we are going to be looking at it from various perspectives, and I'll be starting the discussion with Chiagozie Iwu. So Chiagozie, as a blockchain and finance expert, with core focus on the financial applications of blockchain technology, can you tell us what a central bank digital currency really is, just like a background, and what benefit Nigeria may gain should the CBN go on to adopt the central bank digital currency in the country? So Chiagozie.
Thank you for the introduction, Ifeoma. Just to be sure, you can hear me well, right?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
All right, thanks for the introduction. Okay, so basically straight to it, right? The CBDC, that's the central bank digital currency, is something we've been hearing a lot more of recently. Is not a coincidence, right? Basically, in summary, it is central banks trying to issue digital forms of their existing fiat currencies, right? In the case of Nigeria, for example, now, like I think the plan is to take the naira and create a digital form of the naira, basically, right? And note that like this method will be done differently in different central banks probably have different methodologies, right? I think the people we've seen with a clear methodology to how this is going to be done is the Chinese central bank, right? Where we have a clear framework whereby it is just simple. They're going to create sort of like an app, like a framework where this digital, in their case, digital yuan will be issued, right? And you could use it for payments every other place. So that's basically what it is, and I believe that's the framework a lot of central banks, including our central bank here in Nigeria, want to adopt. And um, they say we should see before the end of the year. Although in this particular situation, we have a situation whereby um it's very difficult to pinpoint the difference because we have not gotten so much information on how this digital currency is going to operate. We are sure of two things. Number one, it's not going to be a blockchain-based project, right? It's just going to be a normal database with digital records. And basically, it's going to be extremely similar to the normal online banking system, methods of money transfer we have already existing. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, a child benefit that will really accrue to Nigerians as a result of this CBDC.
In terms of benefit, many of us here are all crypto people, right? So I don't expect while the CBDC has its positive side if it's adopted, right? But sincerely, I still don't see much difference to the benefits of having a cashless policy, right? A centralized cashless policy whereby, okay, you save money from printing, the money used for printing actual hard currency is saved, right? You make transactions faster, you digitize transactions, you make transactions faster. So without a clear plan to how this is going to operate, I'm going to assume that it still works with the framework of the cashless policy as already set by the CBN back in 2012, right? And basically, yes, there are a lot of positives. The economy will be more streamlined, right? The economy would be more digital, but we still have some of the same restrictions in terms of cross-border remittances, right? And the fact that it's not a blockchain-based digital currency, we have that centralized control still there, right? So the benefits, anybody that knows, oh, this is the benefits that the central bank has been issued. These are benefits of monetary policy because it will still be subject to the normal monetary policy mechanisms, right? So if you say, oh, this is the benefit of monetary policy to an economy, you could say, yes, this is the benefit of having digital monetary policy to the economy. Is just the same thing, right? It's the same fiat currency. But of course, as I said, it helps the government save money in printing money, save the money on printing, and it makes transactions easier and more streamlined. And it takes some powers away from the banks, right? Because it's there's the in economic lingo, there's what they call M0, which is not so familiar, usually used by regulators, right? The normal economics we know is from M1, M2, M3 sort of money, but central bank is just sort of an M0. So this is going to enforce that M0 in the kind of the digital currency is going to be backed as a claim by some the traditional naira and of course some other physical assets, right? So unlike the traditional banking sector whereby it's going to be a 25% reserve ratio, this is going to be 100% reserve to back it, right? So it removes some aspects, right, of the fractional banking system we already see, right? But that centralized nature still mitigates those benefits and makes it not so much of a blockchain but a digital project.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chiagozie. Now, Olumide, I'll come to you now. So, Chiagozie has spoken, giving us a background as to the CBDC. And now you also mentioned about that it's like still going to be centralized and controlled by the central bank. Then, now in countries where the idea of CBDC have been conceived, there have been certain concerns about the potential threats of the CBDCs on the privacy of citizens, and particularly considering that the CBDCs would be centrally controlled by the CBN. So as a leading data protection and privacy advocate in Nigeria, do you also share the same privacy concerns? Please, would like to get your view on this.
Thank you very much, Ifoma, for the invitation once again. And I think, I also appreciate the organization, CBAN, for setting up this kind of conversation at this time. It is very important for us to enlighten ourselves on issues like this, especially in a country like Nigeria, where when the government does not understand a concept or technology or a device, the next thing they do is to either ban it or criminalize the use of such. So this is a very good conversation to have at this time. So Chiagozie mentioned the fact that China has started their digital currency, but they are even still test running it. China and Sweden are currently test running. China is test running its digital RMB. Bahamas has released, however, but because this digital currency is so volatile, and anything digital is volatile, so it will always have its own teething problems. First of all, it's taking transactions out of the realm of private to the realm of public. I can sit in my room and send money to anybody, and I don't have the feeling that, okay, my transactions are necessarily being teleguided or surveilled or tracked by anyone, except in some certain circumstances. But with digital currency, someone sits in the CBN and is able to see at a glance all the transactions of everybody in the country just while sitting in front of a system, without necessarily asking the banks to submit their books, without necessarily asking the bank to audit. So at a glance, so it takes transactions out of the realm of privacy. It takes it to a public realm, such that you do not even have the expectation of privacy when dealing, when having financial transactions anymore. That is one of the biggest fears of everyone around the world, that what used to be private is no longer private. Then anonymity of transactions. Okay, so Chiagozie mentioned something which is also very scary. So if it is true that CBN does not want to use blockchain, then there's a problem. Because the advantages you will get from blockchain, the anonymity you would get from blockchain, you can't get it from this one. And it's a problem. So once you are not able, even using social media has its own privacy expectations. Everybody using social media has some level, some measure of expectation of privacy with certain things, actually. So how much more your financial transaction that is all over the place, it is instead of the kind of protection you will get using devices like blockchain that gives you some measure of anonymity, it takes it out of the hole, it throws it out of the window. And you know that as you are transacting, perhaps the whole of the universe is involved in your transaction. Then it makes it more easier than ever to surveil bank accounts and other transactions. Before now, we used to see.
Sorry to cut in. Does that also raise security concerns?
Yes, I was going to mention that. I'm climbing down the pyramid now, not even going up, because security is at the base of it all. So the fact that you sit here and someone is just watching your transactions, someone easily, law enforcement agencies don't need to write to your bank and say, oh yeah, give us the statement of account. The only thing they just do is go to CBN. Maybe they just get a login detail, and everything it's downloaded at the speed of light. So as much as these technologies have their advantages, sometimes it is at the expense of privacy. And at the base of it all is data security and also financial security. So, I mean, someone can sit, I mean, even the biggest economies in the world, the most formidable economies in the world, they are hacked by somebody sitting in Dubai, somebody sitting in India. We've seen a whole lot of scam that have been reported. Now, digital currency exposes all this. It triples the possibilities. It triples the volatility of financial transaction and data security in the country. We are still struggling with data protection in Nigeria. We are nowhere. So how much more exposing? I think further down in the discussion, I'll be, touching on the digital currency, digital economy aspect of it. But now I think the privacy issues that the digital economy would throw up, especially in Nigeria, without sounding pessimistic, I honestly do not think we are prepared for it yet. I honestly do not think we're there yet. But let's see how
no
it goes.
Wi-Fi, so you can't find it anywhere.
Please, Imam, can you kindly mute your microphone, please? Mute your audio. Thank you. Okay, Olumide, thank you very much for that insight. I'll quickly go to Nathaniel. You are the author of Digital is the Cash, a book where you talked about the evolution of money from the barter system to network money or cryptocurrency. So would it be correct to say that the CBN digital currency is one of those ways that money has evolved?
Okay, first off, thanks to CBAN Senator for having me here. Thanks to Ifeoma Ben, our moderator. And well done to Chigozan Olumide. You guys have touched on the topic already. The first thing is, what exactly is a digital currency? You understand? Okay, so let me bring it down easier. All cryptocurrencies are digital currencies, but not all digital currencies are cryptocurrencies. PayPal is digital money. As a matter of fact, we already use digital currencies in Nigeria. When I send money from my GTB to your Access Bank, they don't exchange fiat, that's paper notes. It's just numbers that changed on a computer. So as far as I know, the Naira is already digital. Any form of money you can send over the internet to another person is digital money, is digital currency. And it is entirely different from cryptocurrency. So the fact that the whole CBDC thing is coming up, it's very much laughable. We can never have, we can never see real cryptocurrencies come out from centralized institutions. The purpose, the foundation of cryptocurrency is blockchain, proof of work, borderlessness, anonymity, and permissionlessness. Any form of money that lacks any of these five is not fit to be called a cryptocurrency. You understand? I mean, if the CBN are floating their own form of digital money, I mean, the government can still choose to close down everybody's account the day they wake up on the wrong side of the bed, like they did with crypto companies. I mean, Goze is the CEO of Ninja Crypto, and he can tell us how the government stopped them for working with banks. And you know, Murphy and Co. were just a ruler measurement short of calling us criminals. I mean, they said every single thing for those using crypto, we are A, we are B, we are C. And you're coming out some months down to tell us that you guys are building something called blah, 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 digital currency. For me, I don't even think it's worth the time thinking about it, because the Naira has always been digital. I think it's not worth anything to us. I mean, it's just going to come and go. Lots of people have tried to replicate the system called Bitcoin, and they don't realize that, see, there are principles backing this thing. If Bitcoin loses those principles, I bet another coin is going to come from somewhere, another system will come from somewhere and replace it. You understand? Because these principles are foundational and these principles are eternal. I mean, who is going to be banking to use a cryptocurrency or digital currency in quotes that comes from a centralized body? The reasons we are going to cryptocurrency is because we are running away from something. And what are we running away from? The government can just wake up on the wrong side of the bed and all your life savings are gone. I'll tell you a story that happened in India, 2016, I think. So the government came up and said that their 1,500 rupee notes were being falsified, like, and people were printing fakes. And the government demonetized it. Meaning, as from today go, that was to say that people holding 1,500 rupee notes could no longer spend it. And lots of people were pushed into poverty by just one policy. People don't realize where we are coming from. That's why anytime the government comes with some synonyms, I read English after all, that's why every time they come with some synonyms, we are quick to want to say, is there a positivity? I don't see any positivity in that. I just think it's old wine in new wineskin. So I don't even think it's worth a conversation.
So we think there's nothing new. It's still what we already have.
I mean, it's what we already have.
New. Because nothing you still have that centralization by the CBN, and they're still going to be controlling and monitoring transactions. So it still doesn't suffice. They're not really bringing any innovation.
This has existed long before. I mean, see, let me shock you. The money we think we have all over the world, central banks all over the world, those money, I bet that the government barely has 10% of it in cash. Do you understand?
They're
So
all
when
in
you even
digital
hear that the
form.
government are printing new money, it's just numbers that are coming to a computer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are printing new fiat bills. Of course, they print new fiat bills because fiat gets destroyed and fades away, so they swap those ones, you understand? But when you hear that, oh, the central bank is going to print this amount of money, or the Federal Reserve Bank are going to print this to support for COVID, it's just numbers in a computer that just been moved from point A to point B. So money has always been digital. You understand? I mean, money has always
Yes.
been digital.
So,
The
okay.
only invention of money that has been real and original is the Bitcoin kind of money. So there are lots of people who want to reap the rewards of Bitcoin without being like it. Do you understand it now? So, and they just want to reap the
Yes.
whole the digital money. You can, and they might even want to make it more confusing by slapping the word blockchain, which is synonymous with bullshit right now, because everybody comes and blockchain for rubbish and blockchain for this. So they can just slap the name blockchain to it and just say it's a digital currency built on the blockchain. People are like, yeah, you know.
Like,
But some people keep in mind
it will be laughable to call it blockchain when they it will really be laughable if they do not apply the blockchain principles and still call it blockchain. But let's see. Let's see. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Okay, so we'll be doing a short commercial now before we go to the next question.
Hey, make una come here better. Una know say cryptocurrencies don dey change the way we world dey do business. My people, Naija Pay don bring the better. With Naija Pay, customer fit to pay you cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Dashcoin for your product, and you go receive Naira for your account sharp, sharp. You hear me? Naira. No long tori, no long talk. You get fiscal business, so you be WhatsApp seller, Instagram seller, any business at all wey you dey do, Naija Pay na the answer. No be up with that. When you start to use Naija Pay go see advertise you give other crypto holders. They go fit locate you, go do business with you. Oh yeah, waiting you they wait for. Alele, visit naijapay.io today. Make you generate your payments link, give your customers today.
All right, we are back. So, Olumide, I'll be coming back to you now because while you were talking earlier on, we are talking about the digital economy. So, now looking at the country, the structures, the infrastructure we have. So, since internet infrastructure systems, people and data combined to provide what we know as the digital economy today. So a CBDC in Nigeria will no doubt impact significantly on the Nigeria's digital economy. So considering the Nigerians' ban of Twitter in Nigeria, which was allegedly reported as a violation of freedom of expression of Nigeria, as a member of the Internet Society, Internet Governance, and also Forum Support Association, do you consider the Nigerian digital economy, cyber space governance, and internet life healthy enough for the introduction of this CBDC by the CBN at this current time?
Thank you once again, Ifoma. So the answer to your question can be found in the World Bank's Digital Economy Diagnostic Report on Nigeria in, in 2019. So Nigeria is now bounding around the term, the concept digital economy. We want to go into digital economy, but with respect to us as a nation, maybe we do not really understand that concept. I wrote an article on it about 4 weeks ago, thereabout. I presented at a paper I presented at LASU. And of course, it is good to aspire, but I think we're pushing it too far to start talking about digital economy right now. Even in mega cities, strictly so-called in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, there are a lot of places that they don't even have internet. First of all, they don't even have internet connection. Secondly, how often do we have power to even be able to power all these things? Now, the old concept of digital economy is that every good and service from beginning till the end is done digitally. Once you do one part manually, then it is no longer digital economy. So for example, if I say I want to buy a land, I want to open a bank account, and I have to still walk physically to the bank to go and collect paper that I will sign, that I will fill, then we're not yet ready with the digital economy. Because I should be able to sit in my house, as it is possible in some countries. In the UK, that a lot of bank that you just sit in your house, from the app, you go online, fill the forms, you get the app, you give them your address, they will send the card, your debit card, to your house address. They will send the password. You won't leave. You will not leave wherever you are. You will not go and see anybody physically. You won't, there's no paper, that everything is done digitally. Your verification is done digitally. They just tell you to look at your app, you open your app, everything. But once we start using paper, manual, to supplement digital economy, then that means it is not digital economy. So in Nigeria, we are not even anywhere around digital economy to start with. So before we begin to say whether Twitter or no, I don't even want to go there, because that one is very controversial right now. We have filed a whole lot of cases in court and everything. But Nigeria, sometimes we want to move 2 steps forward, then we move 6 steps backwards. We were crying a couple of months ago that Twitter went to Ghana to go and set up the Africa office, and we're still doing what we're doing now. So how would the tech companies, how would they even be sure that we're ready to do business, so to speak? So talking about freedom of expression, talking about privacy. Now we have data protection regulation, Nigeria data protection regulation. The World Bank has insisted that for us to even be able to drive our digital economy, we must have a proper data protection act. Up till now, we still do not have. In September 2020, there was a validation workshop for the data protection bill. Up to this moment, we don't know what is happening to it. Now, the World Bank itself, to even show how the World Bank views Nigeria in terms of our digital economy and in terms of our preparedness or readiness to even take on this concept of digital economy. First of all, our digital infrastructure is zero. The digital platforms are not even encouraged. Now, you see the government coming up with all sorts of policies, just like my brother just said. You see them coming up. Nathaniel said the way the government can use policy to destroy a whole industry. So, I mean, we're in a country where we are not even sure of what we're doing yet before we now begin to talk about digital economy and how. So for me, coming back to your question, Nigeria is not ready for digital economy. We do not have the capacity yet. We do not have the will yet. We talk about broadband. Some other countries of the world are already talking about 5G. We are even struggling with the 4G. And so there are some cities in Nigeria that they really have 2, 3G. Some cities do not even have internet at all. They don't even have internet connection at all. So how do we not begin to talk about all this? Then after a while, we begin to talk about digital inclusion. The current point we have now, some people are still unbanked. They are still unbanked. The ones who maybe they walk miles to the physical bank. Some are using USSD, and the government is now even charging 6.5 naira or something of this thing on USSD. So it shows that the country is not itself encouraging these things we call digital economy and digital financial services. So for me, whether the country respects fundamental human rights is even another thing entirely. But even what it requires to get this digital economy in moving, we're not putting them in place. We do not have them yet. We really do not have them. There's so many laws that are supposed to be passed to make these things possible. We're not passing them. Like we don't even understand that before you can get to point 10, you must start from point 1, point 2. There are ladders to be climbed before you get to that point, before we get to digital economy. But what we're supposed to do as the basis, we've not done them.
So we are not prepared. Nigeria is not prepared, but in our infrastructure. So we really need to go back to the drawing board. Okay, thank you very much for that, for your answer. So now, Chiagozie, I'm coming back to you. So we understand how the global financial meltdown in 2008 influenced Satoshi Nakamoto to invent Bitcoin, an electronic cash system without the need for any central bank or any central authority. So, and since then we've been witnessing the rise of in the adoption of, decentralized digital currencies across the world. And also Nigeria today is reckoned to be a global leader in crypto adoption. So as one who understands both the crypto and the traditional markets, would it be correct to say that the CBDCs are the central bank's defense to the attack cryptocurrencies are unleashed on the traditional financial system? So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, these are an amazing question. So basically, like you said, the financial crisis of 2008 was like we've had enough, and I think that's why whoever Satoshi Nakamoto was, or whomever, like if they're a group of people, we're like, enough is enough, right? We need to provide an alternative to decentralized systems. Someone would say, some economists will argue that, okay, we have market cycles. Economies are designed, we have business cycles, right? We are designed to have downturns and upturns. Yes, they might be right, but we're not designed to have events that damage and cripple economies and cripple and even make inequality to rise more and cripple the common man, right? That's not capitalism. Nobody is practicing no. In fact, when I say no country, I mean no country is practicing capitalism without decentralizing the financial system. Why do I say this? Look at the original tenets of capitalism by the likes of Adam Smith and the rest, right? And look at what we have today in the banking sector. Look at what we have today in most big sectors, where you have oligopolies or monopolies, right, created by governments. So when you have government control of finance, you do not have capitalism. And that is why we have a lot of lack of financial inclusion. Let me give you an instance. The common man in Nigeria, for instance, now cannot walk into a bank and get a loan easily, right? Because of lack of access. I think somebody is talking. Because of lack of access to collateral, the common man cannot walk into a bank and get a loan, a proper loan to do business. A student, what am I even talking about? A lot of people that even have good business history cannot walk into the bank and get a loan. A lot of small and medium scale enterprises, because of lack of proper collateralized assets. But a lot of the bigger businesses can do so. What do you now have? Access to credit is only for these bigger businesses, and you have very little access to credit by SMEs. Imagine a world, and does the digital currency proposed by the CBN stop this? No, there is nothing. It's just the same, like Nathaniel said, it's the same recycled online transfers that we're already doing. And as Olumide said, we don't even have the infrastructure. We don't even have the proper digital inclusion. And now let me even focus on the aspect of financial inclusion. Now we have a situation. Now imagine a world where everything was on the blockchain, where assets were all tokenized, where assets were all records, all land records, all securities records, all asset records are all blockchain based. It will take me 1 second to access a loan, because there is no verification that needs to be done. All I need to do is use a tokenized asset. In fact, tokenized assets can even allow people that even earn the bottom of society, like people that earn the least in society, to actually have access to investable assets compared to what we have in place today. So this is an economy that excludes the common man. This is an economy that only includes a particular form of people. And what the central bank digital currency is doing, they are the one who now come and leverage on the hype, on the progress that have been made by the blockchain industry. Yes, that is what they want to do. It's not a coincidence that after Godwin Emefiele finishes attacking the crypto space, he now talks about the central bank digital currency. It's not a coincidence. He's trying to tell all the young people that have already been introduced to the blockchain industry that, nah, don't deal with this supposed criminals, right? Deal with us with our CBDC. It's not a coincidence. Seriously, it can't be a coincidence because they are trying to leverage. So they already feel attacked because the truth is what blockchain does is that it destroys centralized systems. Anybody that says, "Oh no, let us mix this. Let us let us try to the aim. Let us work with the government and all those things." The truth is, the long-term aim is to replace centralized systems with decentralized systems. Until that, nobody is practicing capitalism. We are all communists. Every country with a central bank is a communist country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Because the government is still controlling all aspects of finance. Monetary policy is a created term that came about due to market failure. Monetary policies would not have come about if markets did not fail. And why did market fail? Government created monopolies that destroyed competitions. That is why monetary policies came about when the Keynesians decided to go the other route, right? So technically, in the financial industry, we are practicing communism run by the government and a few big institutions that control the whole monetary system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see crypto preacher here. I think we'll give time for questions. I just want to still with Chair Gozi. I wanted to, because when we are talking about the ban for cryptocurrencies, maybe they're giving directives to the banks not to render financial services to crypto businesses or crypto companies. So you see that maybe it seems that they are afraid of maybe the progress that is being made in the crypto space and maybe what the youths are doing, maybe getting an alternative, getting solutions that the central bank cannot provide for them. So it seems they are afraid. Do you have a contrary view to this?
No. There's nothing contrary. That is the truth. Let me give you an instance now, right? So if I want to receive now, if somebody sends me dollars from abroad, right? What does it do to the Nigerian economy? Does it help the Nigerian economy? Yes, it does. If capital inflow into the country actually helps the Nigerian economy, right? But
yes,
with the current system, capital inflow is very difficult. Thanks to central bank policies. I'm not now saying outflow, capital inflow is very difficult with the current system, right? And how would you create jobs without capital flowing in? How would you create this? How would economies expand without capital flowing in, right? Now, a lot of blockchain or cryptocurrency-based companies made life easier, right? Capital flew into this country in the form of cryptocurrencies, right? So somebody, instead of looking for how to send dollars that somebody will receive only 45% of at the end of the day, right? You can send them cryptocurrency and then they now convert to usable fiat over here, right? So the remittance market found a solution in blockchain, right? Which is of the benefit to the country because you're having economic expansion with capital inflows, right? And it's even improving capital inflows because a lot of all these companies are attracting a lot of attention and attracting a lot of foreign capital into the country, right? But no, you destroyed it because you feel that they are a competition to you in terms of money. Is the aim supposed to be destroying your competition? Okay, come out and tell us that government is a player. I thought the role of the government is to improve social welfare, not to make more profits. If the aim of the government is to improve social welfare, you do not destroy systems that improve social welfare. Exactly. But you want to be in control. You want to have control of this economy when you do not have any way to improve the capacity. And then when people now try to improve the capacity, you destroy. So it's funny. Like, yeah,
It's a
of course, we
serious
have
concern. It's
competition.
a serious concern, I see.
It does show that the government, their aim is not social welfare of the general economy, but social welfare of a few people. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
The truth. So just a short question, another question to you, Chiagozie. You see that young people are the predominant population in Nigeria's digital life and the digital economy, just like you rightly pointed out in your answer. So, and they will likely be the predominant adopters of the digital naira. That's the digital currency we are talking about. So now, CBN's role in the recent NSAT protest in Nigeria, when it froze the bank accounts of maybe certain individuals who believed to be the leaders of the NSAT protest. It's still very fresh in the minds of people, you know. So do you really see young people in Nigeria, maybe because of the experience they had with the Nigerian government, the CBN during that period, do you see them embracing this digital currency? Do you, do you really see them embracing it? If you do, if you say yes, what do you think? Just give us reasons why you think they would embrace it or they would not embrace it?
Sincerely, right? To be on the sincere side, right? Adoption of a central bank digital currency, right, is actually more likely than crypto adoption if it happens. Why do I say so? Like you said, see how the blocked the accounts of people that were involved in the NSAS process, right? You have a situation whereby you are going to be they are creating a system whereby you will be excluded if you do not adopt their own mechanisms. You cannot create your own mechanism. So it's not like young people would want to. A lot of young people will have no option than to. You understand?
Yes. So they will be coerced into it. They will
of
just
course,
have no option than to embrace it.
of course, it's not a democracy. Our financial system is not a democracy. You have a dictator called the central bank, right? And then you have some people that like bow down to the dictators, like some other government agencies, like the SEC, the EFCC, the ICPC, and all that. And then you now have the subservient slaves to the system, which is the people. So now, when you are a slave, you are forced into slavery, right? You are not given the option. Oh, do you want to work for me? You are taking hands in chain, right? And forced into slavery. That's what the central bank digital currency is. It's going to be shoved down our throats.
Yes,
you understand?
So
it's not like thank you. What we think does not matter in that aspect, right? Because if you ask the average young person, right, we would actually go the blockchain route, because the blockchain route has more room for financial inclusion, has more room for decentralization, has more room for growth of the Nigerian economy, has more room to empower the millennials and the Gen Z of Nigeria.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that insight. So Olumide, I'll come back to you now. In February 2021, the Digital Rights Lawyers Initiative, which you are very much part of, sued the CBN, and they brought this action over the CBN's crypto policy, which prohibited cryptocurrency transactions in Nigeria. So can you tell us briefly what rights the CBN had allegedly violated, and whether the CBN's plans to now launch the Cbdc explains in any way their blanket approach to prohibit cryptocurrencies in Nigeria, rather than adopting like a risk-based approach through know your customer and email regulations in Nigeria?
Thank you. So I said that earlier, that regulators in Nigeria, when they don't understand a certain concept, the best thing they do is just to either suspend it or ban it or make life difficult for such industries. We've seen what they've been doing with the fintechs. We've seen what they've been doing with all these other tech financial service providers. And they don't know how, I mean, cryptocurrency they were not going to sit down and learn and watch how it works. Although it's everywhere in the world that people have problems with cryptocurrency. I mean, because it's strong technology, and you need to sit down and understand it very well and think deep on how to regulate it. But rather than do that, we would rather ban. So that's the easier approach to take. We approached the court, yes, and surprisingly, CBN came to court and said no, they did not suspend, or they did not ban crypto. Rather, they were trying to find a way around it. The same thing with SEC. But even with what they have come to do in court, it shows lack of understanding of this. And I have always said this, that whatever one does not understand, before you can even regulate that thing, you need to go sit down and learn. You can't regulate what you don't understand. For example, it's not possible. Now they are talking about digital currency, and they said they won't do it with blockchain. Whatever approach they use, like Chiagozie was talking about app, we all know the vulnerabilities of all these things. So it would always be good, it would be advisable for them to sit down and study very well, watch how it is done elsewhere. Although all of us are in this together in the world, not so many countries have adopted crypto and even the digital currency. Not many, everybody is test running it. But instead of an outright ban, why don't you study? Why don't you call stakeholders, people who are in the industry, experts who can advise on the best way? Because countries are making money from crypto. Countries are making money from all these tech platforms. Yet we talk about our economy, and these are young people trying to come up with legitimate business now. Legitimate business, but just because we don't understand, look at what is happening to Twitter. I mean, how do you, a lot of businesses thrive on Twitter. A lot of destinies have been shut down. And now those people, they resort to something else because they don't have what they have been doing legitimately. You shut it down. So, I mean, it's always the style of Nigerian regulators, rather than proper regulation, rather than understanding, we will suspend or we will shut it down because we don't understand it. So rather than the anti-money laundering, rather than decide that we have laws that can regulate this thing. There's the Cyber Crime Act, Prohibition and Prevention Act, that anti-money laundering acts are there. There's so many financial related legislation that they can use to tighten up this thing. For example, what if they say, oh, if you want to, transact in, or you want to deal in cryptocurrency, they have an association they can even deal with. Cyber is there. And so I understand there are some other small groups that they can talk to. Okay, so how do we regulate this thing? Let us even talk together. Everybody agrees it should be regulated. Nobody is saying it shouldn't be regulated. But the how is the problem. And it is the how that the government doesn't always want to look into, which is a problem. So I perfectly agree with whoever says crypto, digital currency, they are extremely important, but the regulators must be humble. I can't remember who used that word. They must be humble enough to understand that.
Yes, they must learn
these things. I mean, yes. I know data protection. I don't know so much about cryptocurrency, but I call people like Senator and I ask. I remember we wanted to go to court before now. I mean, I've been mooting the idea of going to court about a year ago or so, or more than that, or 2 years ago. And I just called Senator, what do you think about this thing? He enlightened me and I felt, okay, maybe we shouldn't go to court yet. Because even the judge you are going to meet doesn't understand this.
Doesn't understand it.
Doesn't understand it. So
yes, a lot of things.
Big problem. In America, yes. There was a decision as to, in Kenya also, there were decisions as to whether cryptocurrency should be treated as stocks, whether it should be treated as securities. And the judge would have to look at it, okay, do we not? And there are a bit of conflicting decisions, but of course, the judges have taken a stand. But in our own country, that is not always the case. So I perfectly agree with you. And in my parting words, thank you very much for inviting me for this, because I have to rush.
Before you run off, I know that you have an engagement. That's why I just wanted to maybe take you now. I see Crypto Preacher's hands is up. Maybe if you can just take a question or two before you drop off, please, so that we can now continue with the other panelists. Okay, let's have Crypto Preacher. Just make your intervention quickly. If it's a question, just go straight to the point. Crypto Preacher, let's have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the panelists. And Mr. Olumide, I think I was actually raising my hand specifically because of you. And you struck a chord woman again. And I think my question is directly, I think it has gotten to the point where we need, as individuals, a comment and a question as well. We've gotten to a point whereby we need to start thinking away from those in government and see how we can solve our problems that is tailored to the situation we have in our country. Our government is shown that they are anti-people, right? And also, when it comes to technology like this, they always come into wisdom late. So I am looking up to a situation whereby how can we, because from the MBS, it shows that we have about 120 million people using the internet, and 40 million of them are on Twitter. So you can imagine that our population is growing on the internet. So how can we solve all of this? Because I think that the CBDC will not fly because people have known that government is anti-people. How can we solve our problems specifically without involving those people that come into wisdom late in government? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Crypto Preacher. So I've learned this thing early enough in my career. I've learned the power of association. And I think as young people, we really need it. I mean, I'm happy for what CBAN is doing. See, not all of us have the same strength. Our strength, even the strongest of us, we still need some of us for some measure of support. So one thing I think we need to start with is to begin to assemble ourselves in groups first. Sometimes it's difficult to defeat a group. If we talk about NSAS, we talk about the biggest movement in the world. They've been able to succeed because they had a group and they had a formidable voice with which they could. So, I mean, people with like minds, like-minded people should, for example, CBAN, I mean, you guys have something good that you have started. You can, and you are all in the same industry. So you can, in your own silos, begin to think about thinking outside of the government. Look at it. I mean, no right-thinking youth, as we speak, should put all his hopes in our government. Even the government sometimes, they show that they're handicapped. They show that they don't understand this thing. They show that they are helpless. And they just use strength. They just use power where they are supposed to use wisdom. So I had seen it coming. I had seen it coming a long time that Twitter, I mean, they were going to see Twitter as a threat. But should that still stop us from using Twitter? I don't think so. There are ways around it. There's a VPN. And you know where we even screamed at the Attorney General that you can't prosecute. It's not possible. There is no law that criminalizes the use of Twitter. So you can't just come and by declaration say, oh, you start prosecuting. Under what law would you prosecute them? What offense have they committed? So it is just, first of all, I mean, the first idea that comes to my head is not working in isolation of each other. Let's group up together. Let's bring ideas together and let's see how we can together pull it and make it work. Then with that, we have several ideas on how to do things outside the government, but we can't completely, so the thing is we can't completely do things outside the government the way I see it. We can't 100% do it outside them. Maybe we also need to find ways of, and I think that's one of the problems they said the fintech people have. We can't completely shove aside the government. Maybe we should also find a way to be able to influence policies. Maybe we should also begin to think about that. Now, we have young people in the Senate. We have young people in the House of Assembly. We now have young people going into all these ministries. And there are people we can talk to, or there are people we think we can influence. So while we're also trying to do things in our own way, we should also begin to think of how to positively influence, because we can't leave it to them. Just like Chiagozi said it. Chiagozi said, I mean, government can just wake up and come up with a policy. It destroys everything. So we should be working and be thinking of how to also influence the government. Thank you very much for the invitation once again. And I need to run off.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. So we'll have a short commercial break and I will come to you, Nathaniel.
Up using your referral link. Want to know how? Here it is. For every user who signs up using your referral link on NigerCrypto.com, not only do you earn trading fees when they trade, you also get rewarded for having them sign up. Here's how to get started. Sign into your NigerCrypto account at NigerCrypto.com. Click on the affiliate button from your profile drawdown. Once the page loads, click the My Referral page to get your unique referral link and see your referrals. Start sharing it with your friends, family, and community and get them to sign up, trade, and refer. Share your link, sleep, and wake up to rewards. Wait! You thought it couldn't get any better, huh? Well, there's more. You earn even more rewards if you own your own website. We have an easy-to-use crypto widget you can place on your webpage and earn commissions from completed trade using this widget. That is, earning an extra commission when your website visitors complete a trade using the Niger Crypto widget. Simple and short. For more information, visit www.nigercrypto.com and write to partnerships@nigercrypto.com. Niger Crypto, your all-in-one cryptocurrency exchange.
Thank you. Now, just like a short comic relief, when we change to United African Republic, so I wonder how we are going to be doing all this Niger, the Diary of Niger Girl. There, I saw that in Instagram some time ago after they talked about the UAR. So Elena said, what we'll be talking about Diaries of a Niger Girl. It will not be Diaries of a UAR girl. It sounds awkward. Please, we like our Niger like that. Let's leave it. Let them leave it for us. We want Niger. We don't want UAR. Anyway, that's by the way. So Nathaniel, I know you are ready for us, and I want to ask, as a big believer in of financial technology as a tool for driving financial inclusion in Africa, so do you think that the CBDC by the CBN can help Nigeria improve financial inclusion in the country, which while also enabling cheaper and faster cross-border transactions?
I don't think so. And that's because everything the government has put their hands, they've spoiled it. As a matter of fact, the best way for the government to support financial inclusion in this country is to just allow us to do what we want to do. Don't help us, don't reduce taxes, don't support us, don't give us any form of support. That's the highest form of support we need from the government. Like, just stay on close. Like, just day your day, you understand? Don't think of doing anything to help us. If we are serious about driving financial inclusion, we would be passing to the telcos. So when you check around African countries that are doing financial inclusion, they allow the telcos, that's telecommunication companies like MTN and Co, to drive financial inclusion. But we come to this part of the world and the government is trying to drive financial inclusion with banks. I mean, I try as much as possible and not to talk about Nigerian government because it just gets on my nerves, you know. We are just doing things the opposite way. And anybody still thinking that the government does not know what they are doing, I think the joke is on the person. Because I don't know, I just feel this is a deliberate attempt to do something else. I mean, maybe it's a deliberate attempt to take us back 100 years. Do you understand? So what I'm just going to say to people out there is, the first form of innovation you need to succeed in Nigeria is to innovate away from government rules. You understand? Innovate away from government rules. That's the first kind of innovation that will make you succeed. You get? I don't believe in whatever the central bank is going to cook up. I mean, it's just like when Mark Zuckerberg with the Facebook Libra project. We know these things are dead on arrival. Though we can say that it gives a kind of credibility to Bitcoin because obviously it gives us more publicity. So if the central bank rolls out the digital currency, the only publicity we'll get is that more people will get to know that, okay, there's something called crypto. So that would be like a plus in terms of education-wise. So we can now pick it up from there and show them that the only true crypto is Bitcoin. You understand? If it's not Bitcoin, it's not based on the principles of Bitcoin, it can never be like Bitcoin. You get? So that's just what I think. I don't see any positivity in it. I think it's just a waste of time. I mean, okay. Let's look at. I mean, so let's look at the kind of jobs, the companies We've built a whole industry around Bitcoin before the ban. I mean, and I will see all those value being wiped away. So do you think whatever the government wants to do is going to bring back that amount of value? I mean, do you know the thousands of people we have only on the P2P trade? Then we don't want to talk of the people that make a living by teaching crypto, by trading on Binance and the likes. So what the hell is the government thinking they are building that is going to accommodate for the destruction of value that is created?
So in other words, it wouldn't get any better. It wouldn't be of any advantage to us.
No. I just think it's a waste of time, in all sincerity.
Well, I just hope they prove us wrong. I just hope they prove us wrong. Anyway, all we want is the what will make our country better financially and otherwise, and what will help the youth.
Take their hands off the tech industry. That's all we want. I mean, we saw this thing happen in Lagos when the governor woke up and banned the likes of Gokada. Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
I said, we saw this happen in Lagos, where the governor woke up, banned Gokada, Max, Ope, and now we have local bikes roaming everywhere.
Everywhere.
Registration. I mean, we've seen this happen in multiple times in different.
And they throw people out of business only to come back and, in fact,
and there is a big misconception Nigeria has. I think the government believes that Nigeria has a big market. I've heard government people say, like Mohammed was saying recently, that the likes of Iroko TV, the likes of Facebook, Twitter are making money from Nigeria. I think what we don't understand is that we have numbers, but we don't have the purchasing power. So the government is quick to think that, man, all these guys are maxing it out. These guys are cashing it out. Not to realize that, a very practical example. So I use a VPN, we all do. And my VPN routed me to Norway. And it was the end of the month. I needed to pay for my YouTube music and YouTube. And they were charging me about $25. And I was like, what happened for YouTube music? Only to find out that that is what they charge people from Norway monthly. And me here in Nigeria, I just pay $1,400 and I'm good to go. That's just about plus or minus $3. And I'm like, so people actually charge some other people $25. Hey, Joe, I'm not from Norway, it's VPN Wahala. Return my money back.
You're from Nigeria.
I'm from Nigeria, that's just a clear example of how even companies price. They use different pricing. Check out Amazon, check out Spotify. They use different pricing for different
localities, I say.
But I think the government is making the mistake of assuming that Nigeria has so millions of people. Therefore, these companies are cashing out. Therefore, we'll find a way to kick them out and replace them with our own. And it's absurd. I think at this stage, it's absurd.
Well, we just hope we get better. So I want to also ask, as an advocate of decentralization, you have several times mentioned the idea of separating money from the state. So with the increasing interest of over 60% of central banks across the world in CBDC, has the idea of separating money from the state become utopia, or is it still achievable? Can we achieve it?
As a matter of fact, when people say that all money have to be controlled by the government, or that trying to do separation of money or state is not possible, I just see people who lack proper knowledge in history. So all currencies all around the world are pegged to the USD, right? Most currencies all around the world. Are you aware that the US dollar is not controlled or printed? It's not even under the powers of the US government. Yeah. So the US dollar is a property of some private individuals, of some private families. They choose how much to print into circulation every single day. The US government does not have control over printing the dollars, doesn't have control over the circulation. I bet they don't even know how much dollars is out there or how much dollars gets printed daily. So if the US dollars is owned and controlled by some private individuals, what stops me as Nathaniel from printing Nathaniel token that will be owned and controlled by me and my family? You see, what crypto has come to do is not to fix the already weak global financial system. What crypto has simply come to do is what is good for the goose should be good for the gander. So if private families all over history have had the power to print currencies till date, everybody should have the power. So I predict that in the future of money, we're going to see the separation of money and state. We're going to see a madness of currencies. Everybody's going to have their own money. What you saw in the shitcoin era recently is just a joke. I mean, everybody, the moment people come to the discovery, to the realization that, so this thing be, so I can create my own, everybody's going to have their own currency and we'll all be mad together.
Like we are already having the various coins coming up, various companies, various cryptocurrencies actually launching their own coins and all that. So that's, people are actually having the leverage to start their own, let's say, business, like you said. So, okay, thank you. I'll come back to you shortly, but let me just go to Chia Gozim. So, Chia Gozim, now, do you see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies like running simultaneously in the same banking, financial, and economic system, like the central bank digital currency? Or do you consider the state of things?
You go back and collect your
Clara, please, mute your mic, Clara. Clara, thank you. So, Chiagoze, so I was asking, do you see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies running simultaneously in the same banking, financial, and economic systems like the CBDCs? Or do you consider the state of things like an open battle of these digital currencies for the survival of the fittest? Are they going to, is it a survival of the fittest thing, or they are going to be running simultaneously? So let us have your thoughts on that.
Okay. Yes, I would say yes and no, right? Yes, in the sense that we do not control the CBN. They can do whatever they want, right? They can, if they want to run the central bank digital currency, well, it's left to them. They're an institution. They have the power. They have the tech team, I assume, to do that, and is their own idea of how a monetary system should operate, right? In the case of cryptocurrencies, especially the big ones, man, I don't think this will affect it in any way, right? I don't think it will affect it in any way, because most of all these cryptocurrencies have their individual unique use cases, right? And Bitcoin of all has the supreme use case, right? So there is no way because what the central bank is doing is just giving fiat money another name. And fiat money has been existing since 2008. Bitcoin has also been existing since 2008. So like at least fiat money is not dead. Bitcoin is not also dead. So they can exist simultaneously, right? But I believe in the long run. I strongly believe in the long run. Let me not say long run, in the long term, right? By long term, I mean in the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? We'll start seeing central bank controlled currencies having very little demand. Because governments, like Nathaniel said, like one of the best ways to build a system is to build the fintech system in Nigeria is let the government stay away from it. Because sincerely, right, in the last 4-5 years, a lot of amazing things have happened in the fintech system. A lot of solutions have happened. A lot of solutions that are created that have made life easier and have started involving, as I said, becoming financially inclusive. Like he said, in other, like in the East African countries, where some of these modalities have been even more successful, the telecommunication companies are the people that run these payments through this things like M-Pesa and things like that, right? So basically, these things run very smoothly, create jobs, improve the economic situation. Then you now have the government panics and now uses the destroy approach, like Olumide said, right? Like they completely, instead of like working, oh, how can we harness this and actually regulate this to make this better? They are like, no, let us destroy this. You understand? So it cannot. Bitcoin, by virtue of its existence, is decentralized. No one government, not even the US government, can destroy Bitcoin. If they could, they would have. Not even the US government. And let's assume that the US government and the Russian government and the Chinese government, these are the three most powerful governments in the world right now. They come together, they cannot destroy Bitcoin. Talk more of the Nigerian government. Like it really sounds funny. So they can't stop it. They can't stop me from using. They can't stop anybody from using Bitcoin, right? All they can do is create their own database, their own normal database-based digital currency, right? Not a blockchain-based digital currency. And sincerely, I do not think the central bank really have thought this through properly. I don't think so. I don't think they have thought this through properly, because if they have, they would have at least given a proper framework of, oh, this is how this is different from the traditional digital systems that already exist. Sincerely, I have seen no difference. I have seen no added financial inclusivity as a result of this. Hopefully, our the private sector, like Nathaniel said, will keep working to innovate and create this financial inclusion regardless of the government. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Bitcoin has come to stay. So whatever the CBN wants to do, it will definitely not affect that. So, and okay, now, Nathaniel, so coming back to you, still talking about these private digital currencies that we already have that are existing, and now the CBN digital currency that is coming. Do you think that the CBN's interest may affect its regulatory judgment in any way, like over the CBN? How would they, will it affect its regulatory judgment in any way over how the CBN will classify, sort of like treat or approach cryptocurrencies or other private digital currencies or virtual assets?
Yeah, for me, I expect the worst from the government regarding cryptocurrencies. So, of course, they've already started by, first of all, frustrating crypto exchanges by just blocking the fiat route, that is the Naira crypto route, by just blocking it. And I do want to inform you that I know of companies that have been on suspension since that card was played. You understand? But then what I think is this: innovation has been one step ahead of the regulators. People would always be people. You cannot forcefully tell people how to live their lives. You understand? I mean, the worst the government will do is make it difficult for people who play in the crypto industry. But again, because crypto is truly decentralized, nobody can stop it. You understand? I mean, it's not something that can be stopped. The worst they can do is just to frustrate us. You get, but if you hang in there, and that's why people must come for education first. That's why people must understand. See, any government, if the Nigerian government were smart, what I really expected them to do, they would have done what El Salvador is doing right now. Governments that are smart and currently need financial help should be embracing technologies like Bitcoin. You understand? But by the time, I mean, even countries that are pretty much more financial stable are not trying to fight Bitcoin, and you that your economy is on 2 legs, is on 1.5 legs instead of 2. You are the one trying to come out and sharp, you know, it's super funny. It's super amazing. Unemployment rate is high. Everything every economic signal is about to implode. I mean, for me, I predicted 600 naira to a dollar for this year and 1,000 naira to a dollar between 2021 and 2030. And it's sure going to happen. I mean, it's not like we like it, but obviously, we don't have a say in these matters. And when we try to innovate, they come up with all these things. So I think, yes, I think it's going to affect their judgment. I think they're going to be more harder on crypto companies. And I think it's going to be simple for the crypto companies. Innovate or jackpot. So that's what we're going to see in the future.
Innovate or die.
Nigeria is not the only place where you must function. God did not create us Nigerians. He created us as global beings. It was the British, for selfish economic interests, that made us Nigerians. So our gift, our companies, our talents can find expressions all over the world. So there's a level the government will get to, and they'll find out that the best of us are getting out of the country. It's already a norm. There is almost every fintech company is registered abroad. You can hardly meet a fintech or crypto company in Nigeria that is registered in Nigeria. I mean, everybody has the UK, US, you know, people just have a registration somewhere as a backup. I've already seen people jackpotting small. If everything is going to be the exodus
so Canada has become our second home.
I mean, it's going to be the exodus of companies. And at that stage, the government will realize what it has created. You see, when the government banned Twitter or when the government banned crypto companies from using banks, see, the problem is not the action itself. The problem is what signal is this sending around the world? So I know of investors that have pulled out of deals on the singular ground that your government is not predictable. So they're like, if they can ban Twitter, if they can ban this, why should I put my money in that kind of a country? They can ban Okada, ban OPay. Do you understand? So this signal is great. It's something that will take years to erase. You don't expect investors that have lost money in Gokada, OPay, and the likes to come and say, if you like, tell them you found that money in Nigeria, you'll be on your own. Do you understand it now?
I understand, yeah.
What we are saying. So the problems they are creating are not things that we can solve in the next 3-5 years. You understand? So I'll conclude by saying my advice for anyone, if you're building something in the tech space, have a backup plan. You understand? Have a backup plan. Get ready to sell to a global audience at any time, so that when you do switch off in Nigeria, your bulbs that are on in other parts of the world is going to keep going. Thanks a lot to Ivan for helping, for making me come here today. I've had a beautiful time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nathaniel, for sharing value. And finally, I would come to one final question for Chair Gozie before we wrap up. So now, having discussed all this with the way the discussions are going, so if you are talking of going forward, what recommendations would you have for the CBN?
First of all, like sincerely, like Nathaniel said, the recommendation I would give to the CBN, just stay up. You can do what you want to do. You want to create the digital naira or the digital naira squared, right? And give it any name you want to give it, right? Fine, it's your choice, right? You control the fiat currency, so it's your choice to do what you want to do with it, right? But for the sake of unemployment, for the sake of GDP, for the sake of building capacity, like Nathaniel just said, investors are becoming scared of Nigeria. Like when your business is based in Nigeria, like investors because the unpredictability of the government is on another level. Is on another level, and nobody wants to invest in a place where there is uncertainty. No investor loves uncertainty. We have exchange rate uncertainty, we have economic uncertainty, we have security uncertainty, we have uncertainty in a lot of sectors, and the regulatory uncertainty is becoming hell, right? So this is going to cause a lot of capital flight out of Nigeria. So the recommendation I'll give to the CBN, please stay away, not just the CBN, but to all regulators, stay away from what you do not understand. Do your research. When you understand it and do your research, you can make statements, but still stay away, right? Because you do not understand it. And sincerely, I suggest the CBN actually looks for actual people that are involved in the industry, call them and talk to them, because they did not do enough of that. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Chair Gozie. Thank you very much. And we'll be wrapping up here. And before we wrap up, I'll thank our special panelists, especially. I've thanked them before. Lumide had dropped off. I also thank him, Chiagozie Miwo and Nathaniel Laws. Thank you very much for this insightful session. In fact, this the knowledge you shared, the value you'd have shared with us this evening. So thank you very much. And I'll just call on, yes.
Yes.
So I call on Senator now to say a few words, and if we also have one more intervention from the participants, we can also take that before we now call it a day. So Senator.
All right, thank you very much, Ifema, for being such a wonderful moderator. And I join you to also thank all of the wonderful and fascinating speakers today. I had a lot to learn, and it feels very good being on this other side of the house. Now, I want to thank everyone as well who has been a part of this. I've been looking at the rate of participation, and I see that everyone has been kept glued to their seats for the last 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's wonderful. I would just like to, by way of closing, say that as the stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, we are very well aware of our self-regulatory work in the space. And so as soon as we saw the reports in the media that the CBN was planning to introduce the central bank digital currency before the end of the year, or at least the pilot project, we felt that as a self-regulator in the space, we needed to reach out to the community, not only for the purpose of sensitization, but also to listen to everyone's opinion about this issue. Because as you all have seen this evening, it's quite a dynamic subject. And we expect that in the next few weeks or months, we'll continue to have conversations like this. The purpose of all of this, of today's program, was to look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, as far as the adoption of digital currency in Nigeria is concerned. And I have to say, I'm over satisfied that they have done some justice to that. And I believe that you guys also feel the same way. Just to say that conclusively, we will continue to engage both the community and the regulators as well on this matter. I'm happy to let you know that CBAN, we belong to a number of platforms where we are able to share ideas and also listen to regulators in the space, from the central bank to the Securities and Exchange Commission and other relevant authorities. So I'd like to assure you that we are not islanders. We are not some people living on Mars. We're pretty here, we're pretty strong, and we continue to engage with all stakeholders in the emerging blockchain and cryptocurrency space in the country. As we do so, I'd like to re-emphasize what one of the speakers did say, that we need to, as innovators, have a plan B always, so that when one is off, you can switch on the other, as we continue to interact continually with our regulators and other agencies of the government. Thank you again for this wonderful session we've had today. We hope that when we have another session, perhaps next week, you all will be here and you'll bring all of your families along. Thank you. This has been me, Senator Ihenyen, the President of the Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria. On behalf of the Executive Council, I thank everyone here for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for organizing this. Bye. Thank you for our attentive participants and everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sivan.
My people, Naija Pay don't bring the better. Oh. With Naija Pay, customer fit to pay you cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Dashcoin for your product, and you go receive Naira for your account sharp. You hear me? Naira. No long tori, no long talk. You get fiscal business, so you be WhatsApp seller, oh, Instagram seller, oh, any business at all where you they do, Naija Pay na the answer, oh. Not be up with that, oh. When you start to use Naija Pay go see advertise you, give other crypto holders, then go fit locate you, come do business with you. Oh yeah, waiting you they wait for. Alele, visit naijapay.io today, make you generate your payments link, give your customers today.